In many NFL stadiums, the warm-up acts are often more entertaining than the featured performers. However, this is not the case with the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team that even looks good when playing badly. Against the Kansas City Chiefs, the Steelers sought their fourth straight victory and had little trouble grounding one of pro football's most primitive offenses. Pittsburgh is a team of pure athletes, as evidenced by this acrobatic interception by Dirt Winston, number 53. Nowhere is this strain of athleticism more evident than at wide receiver. With Lynn Swann, number 88, and John Stallworth, number 82, often all quarterback Terry Bradshaw has to do is throw up a jump ball. With Stallworth and Swann acting like Jabbar and Chamberlain under the backboards, the Steelers had little trouble squashing the Chiefs 30-3. While mighty Pittsburgh has outscored their last four victims by a staggering 104 points, the Houston Oilers have kept a game off the pace in the AFC Central by rope-a-doping opponents instead of knocking them out. Their opponents were the Oakland Raiders, a team that has squeezed the most it can from their old-fashioned two tight end offense. Despite the heroics of number 88 Raymond Chester, the AFC's second leading receiver, the Raiders' playoff chances took a severe turn for the worse. Before this game, the Houston offense was one-dimensional. They lived by the run, for quarterback Dan Pastorini, number 7, was the lowest-rated quarterback in the league. Last season, the long-range threat of Ken "Double-O" Burrow provided the Oilers with the versatility that launched Houston into the playoffs. In this game, Burrow's 2 touchdowns were the springboard for the season's most impressive victory. But the heart of this Oiler team remains Earl Campbell, a player who metes out and receives more punishment than anyone else in the game. The incredible 1-yard touchdown by the Tyler Rose helped Houston to a 31-17 victory. As long as number 34 remains healthy, the Oilers will continue to be a factor in the race to Pasadena. In Municipal Stadium, the Seattle Seahawks may have buried Cleveland's chances in the AFC Central. Coming off a game that saw their offense set an NFL record for futility, the Seahawks breezed through the Browns. While reserve running back Al Hunter gained almost 100 yards for Seattle, the Browns' Mike Pruitt, number 43, ran wind sprints through the always obliging Seahawk defense and accumulated 141 yards. The scenario for the Browns this season has been pulling out victory after victory with miraculous comebacks. Once again, this pattern seemed assured as 2 touchdowns by Pruitt transformed a 16-point deficit into a 17-16 Cleveland lead. However, the Browns' undoing resulted from their inability to defense quarterback Jim Zorn and wide receiver Steve Largent, number 80. Zorn's ability to isolate Largent with single coverage allowed Seattle to win a game that in the fourth quarter appeared certainly lost. At game's end, Seattle outscored the Browns 29-24. They had played the role of spoilers well, a role the disappointed Browns have cast upon themselves for the rest of the 1979 season. When you've been on top as long as the Los Angeles Rams, your pregame workouts tend to become a bit lackadaisical. The Chicago Bears, however, can make even the Rams look aggressive. Last Sunday in Soldier Field, Los Angeles special teams ace Jim Jodad, number 43, turned an ill-fated Bear punt attempt into a satisfying 6 points. Later on, reserve quarterback Jeff Rutledge tossed a short out pass to tight end Terry Nelson, who scored before he was touched. The Bears appeared intent on being run out of their own stadium. Then, just as the Rams appear to have matters well in hand, their defense suffered another in a season-long series of lapses. Luckily for the Rams, this long-distance gallop by wide receiver Steve Schubert was nullified by a penalty. But such was not the case on the 6 balls caught by rookie wide receiver Ricky Watts, number 80. This 68-yarder in period 3 brought Chicago to its feet, while cutting the Ram lead to 2 points. It was just about then that Ram running back Wendell Tyler took off on a 63-yard sprint that should have iced away a victory. But the Rams' celebration was premature. Chicago fought back with 2 fourth-quarter field goals. And then with less than 2 minutes to play and the Rams clinging to a 3-point lead, a little 2-yard scamper made all of the afternoon's big gainers insignificant. Chicago dealt the faltering Rams their 6th loss of the season, their most since 1972. Maybe, just maybe, the Rams' 6-year domination of the NFC Western Division has reached its twilight hour. News of the Ram defeat was warmly received in New Orleans. There, the Saint locker room was buzzing with activity as players consulted their crystal ball for a look at the future. Kicker Garo Yepremian didn't seem to mind, for indeed the future is looking bright for Garo and his light-hearted Saints. One big reason is the emergence of Chuck Muncie as an NFL star. After 3 disappointing seasons, Muncie currently is closing in on his first ever 1,000-yard year. A big reason for the Saints' success. Another is the continued improvement of quarterback Archie Manning and his fine core of pass catchers. Last Sunday against the hapless 49ers, Archie passed the Saints close, and Muncie cashed in 3 opportunities as New Orleans pounded the boys from the Bay 31-20. The win gave New Orleans sole possession of first place in the NFC West as the Saints continue to rock the boat that for so long has been piloted exclusively by the Rams. How are Saints fans reacting to all this success? Why, they're lapping it up, of course. Yes, sir, the New Orleans Saints' 12-year stay in the doghouse appears to be over. Who knows? Maybe they'll even let their crystal ball try his hand at quarterback. Remember Super Bowl VII, Garo? Why are these men laughing? They are, after all, employed by the Lions, another Detroit firm that soon may be requesting government assistance. But perhaps they decided to take a tip from their opponents, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who benefited from Coach John McKay's Southern California laid-back philosophy. Sometimes, though, being mellow has its drawbacks, and the Lions were all too grateful for any advantage against the NFC Central Division leading Bucks. Eventually, the Lions decided in favor of a more forceful approach to the game. With rookie Jeff Comlow helping to apply that kind of approach, the Lions held the lead going into the fourth quarter. Comlow was ably assisted by number 87 Fred Scott, who grabbed 9 passes for 148 yards. But with 3.5 minutes left in the game, the Bucks got forceful themselves, and a Doug Williams pass to number 87 Larry Mucker put them ahead 16-14. But the stubborn Lions still clung to their dreams of an upset. With 30 seconds remaining, Comlow quickly led them downfield, and a pass to number 81 David Hill put them in field goal range. But just as quickly, those dreams slipped from their grasp, forever out of reach. The victory proved that Tampa Bay's winning philosophy is no laughing matter. In Washington, the St. Louis Cardinals, down 27-7 as the fourth period began, were not roaring with laughter. But they did come roaring back. The touchdown by number 32, O.J. Anderson, gave the Cardinals a 28-27 lead, including a day in which he set a club single-season rushing record. But Joe Theismann took measures to bring the sound of laughter back to the Redskins. After Theismann's 35-yard pass to number 38 Clarence Harmon, Mark Mosley gave Washington the last laugh with 40 seconds remaining. Contrary to fable, the perseverant ants don't always get the best of the complacent grasshoppers, and the 30-28 Washington victory kept the Redskins well within hopping distance of an NFC wild-card berth. At New York, the Jets and Bills matched touchdowns, but Richard Todd's scoring pass to number 89 Bobby Jones went in vain. A Joe Ferguson toss to number 47 Curtis Brown made the final 14-12 Bills and gave Buffalo a sweep of 1979 encounters with their downstate rivals. The Minnesota Vikings were unable to accomplish a similar feat against Green Bay. The Pack found a voracious turf eater in defensive end Mike Butler, number 77. Butler devoured 70 yards with Tommy Kramer's fumble. One reason why the Packers held a 19-0 lead as they entered the fourth quarter. Another reason was David Whitehurst, who passed for 2 touchdowns, including a 23-yarder to a very determined Andra Thompson, number 89. Despite the 19-6 win, both the Packers and Vikings were still moving nowhere in the NFC Central, pro football's no man's land. Meanwhile, the Giants and Falcons encountered the kind of nasty weather that made good execution strictly something for capital punishment advocates to smile about. When Dan Lloyd, number 54, tipped a Falcon punt, the Giants looked heavenward for a solution to the game's myriad mistakes. Terry Jackson, number 24, received the answer, and it was good. But by the second half, Phil Simms provided a more down-to-earth solution. Simms' touchdown pass to Gary Shirk, number 87, gave the Giants a 24-3 victory. And New York's return from the long dead continued to take shape as 1979's biggest pro football story. The Orange Bowl has become a turbulent sea for Miami Dolphin quarterback Bob Griese. Not since the days of his wild, scrambling youth has number 12 been the center of so much criticism, something the Baltimore Colts hoped to add to last Sunday. But while Baltimore played good defense, the Miami Dolphins, the NFL's best, played better. 7 times Colt quarterback Greg Landry fell before the Dolphin rush as Miami registered their second shutout of the season. Baltimore was neutralized throughout the day, while Miami managed a pair of touchdown strikes from Griese to underrated wide receiver Nat Moore for a 19-0 Dolphin win. Since Bronco Mania first hit the NFL 2 years ago, you never know what to expect in the mile-high city of Denver. Last Sunday was no exception, as Robin Williams, or Mork of Mork and Mindy, debuted as a member of Denver's cheerleading team, the Pony Express. But Mork found out that running around in front of 75,000 people in scantily clad outfits can be an unnerving situation. The speed of his exit from Mile High Stadium was matched only by the manner in which the Broncos defeated the visiting New England Patriots. Denver owned a 31-point lead by halftime, and it's safe to say Patriot quarterback Steve Grogan wished that he would have left with Mork, as the Broncos poured in and left number 14 with a concussion and a bruised ego. The final was a 45-10 Broncos celebration against a team that continues to puzzle the NFL with its week-to-week Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde imitation. The Cincinnati Bengals are another team whose week-to-week performance varies, a fact the San Diego Chargers learned last Sunday. With an intimidating defense, the Bengals seized control of the game right from the outset. And when Charger quarterback Dan Fouts hurried one pass, Bengal cornerback Ray Griffin stole the ball and returned it 95 yards for a 14-0 Cincinnati advantage. But here, the Bengal mystery continued as Cincinnati allowed the Chargers to chip away at a seemingly comfortable lead. Their happiness soon turned to horror as Dan Fouts rallied San Diego late in the fourth quarter with a 32-yard touchdown pass to Artie Owens. This score pulled the Chargers to within 1 point at 24-23. Then, with but seconds remaining, San Diego place kicker Mike Wood delivered his 4th field goal of the afternoon to rescue a Charger win. The final was a 26-24 San Diego victory, a win that allowed them to keep a first-place tie in the AFC West with Denver as the NFL season heads down the home stretch towards the playoffs.